Revenge story: an employee takes on his boss. I was working for an advertising agency, a pretty big one, and I had an unethical manager. He'd order his sales reps to do things that would increase his bonuses, which are based on margins. Say a client decided to buy product Z and their spend was $2,000 a month. He would want the agent to put up products ABC and keep the spend at $2,000, even though the client didn't agree to that. Fact is, the clients generally wouldn't notice, but if they did, it could cost you your job. So, be evil or you're fired? I was the guy that refused his demands. He would get mad. I wouldn't care. This went on for quite a while. Now, I live in a one-party consent state, which means so long as I'm aware a conversation is being recorded I can record it without informing the other party. I had just upsold my largest client, making him even larger. But I didn't sell the products my boss wanted me to sell. He demanded I switch things around. I refused. I told him I sold the client Ziz, what we'd agreed on. I'm not going to change that without the customer's permission. His exact words were, "FCK the customer, this is your largest client, I need him on ABC or I'm not going to make my number. I'm sorry, but you and I both know ABC isn't right for this client and that's why he didn't buy it. You're fired. If you can't follow instructions you're fired." After confirming he was dead serious, I said, "If you do that, I'll have your job by the end of the month." Next morning, I'm locked out of all our systems. I call tech support and get told I've been fired. Sometimes, the bad guys do lose. I call our regional vice president and tell him I have several recordings I think he should listen to. So I meet up with my RVP and play 6 different recordings that I had saved, showing my manager was pushing his agents to break the law. My RVP leaned back in his chair, and let out a sigh knowing he had to fire my manager. At which point I asked for my job back. He agreed that I would get my job back and asked me to take the week off and call him on Monday. He told me he'd talk to payroll and make sure I got paid for this week as well. That Monday, I came into our Monday morning meeting and my RVP was there. He informed the entire team that my boss had been fired and why. He also mentioned that if anyone wanted to apply for his job there was now an opening. So I applied, and after 3 rounds of interviews, got my promotion. I was right, I did have my boss' job by the end of the month. Revenge story: when revenge goes too far. About 3 years ago, I was working in a pretty big factory. They hired through 5 different temp services, so the place was pretty much like a revolving door. People came and left without any warning, sometimes it was hard just to find a familiar face. So when someone started stealing my lunches everyone became a suspect. After falling victim to the lunchbox bandit for a week straight, I'm talking about 6 12-hour days with no lunch, the frustration spawned several evil plans. And it sure did get evil. I felt the Carolina Reaper would give me the fastest and most effective results. All I knew was, people were gonna think twice before stealing lunches. I spent all night making the best steak fajitas for lunch the next day. I finally minced the Reaper peppers into a nice pico de gallo, and topped my devil fajitas off. I carefully placed my fajitas into a Tupperware bowl, garnished them with cilantro and limes, then covered them with a clear lid to display their beauty. Maybe go a little less hard next time. The next morning, about an hour after I placed them in the fridge, a woman started screaming for help. I ran to the lunchroom to find the lunchbox bandit laying on the floor gasping for air. The Reaper peppers triggered an asthma attack, and he had to be rushed to the hospital. He never said anything, and neither did I, until now. Revenge story: publishers should not get to milk poor college kids. As any college student is aware, textbooks have been a scam for a very long time, and some professors use that to their advantage. One professor I had assigned 5 required books for his class, 4 of which he authored or co-authored and received royalties from, that we barely used. The professor in this story is not like that. One of my favorite professors was fed up with a college textbook scam. He authored an engineering textbook but was furious at the price the bookstores were charging students. The publisher and the university own most of the rights to the textbook, so he didn't have any control over pricing or distribution. So, he got out a notebook. He did find one caveat to the publisher's contract: even though he could not reproduce and distribute printed copies of the book, or any of its contents, it didn't say anything about non-print content. So my professor hand-copied the entire text, including equations, graphs and figures. He made copies of his handwritten textbook and passed them out at the beginning of class. We had to hole punch and put it in a binder, but it was well worth the couple $100 savings, and my professor got some revenge for the unethical practices of college textbook publishers.